So, as many of you guys know, in the bike community, many people like to obviously speed. Now, speeding isn't a bad thing, but speed can kill, especially on a motorbike. But speed can also bring amongst a lot of other things. Breaking the law, breaking speed limits, doing things you're not meant to. And now, as many bikers will know, especially on these Africa Twins, there's a lot of people who do a lot of dumb stuff, okay? Now, as many of you guys know, on the BMW S1000 RRs and now the Africa Twins, especially here in the UK, these bikes are being picked up by the wrong sort of people. Yeah, isn't your average old man riding this, as many people like to think in the US and things like that? No. Here, a lot of the phone snatchers are using this, people going around London. This has become a very hot bike, so police see you on it, they're instantly gonna come to run your plate, and they're instantly gonna start tailgating you and following you. And that's purely because of what people are using these bikes for, because they can do it all. They can go off-road and on-road. People are using them to ride up on pavements, ride on people's cars, phone snatching, robbing people, carrying two people up. They're getting stolen a lot here by a lot of the young boys. They're stealing them because they're DCT, just like a moped. As soon as they see DCT, they're robbing it. And so they have a very, very, very bad name, especially here in the UK. And that's going to be happening, I'm telling you guys, probably soon in Europe, and it probably already is. And also in the US, people thinking, no, it won't happen to me. It's like I've always said, monkey see, monkey do. So whatever people see online, what's happening, they're going to do it elsewhere because they think it's cool. I don't know how they're managing to nick these, especially with them being immobilized, but they are. I don't know how they're doing that. Many people are leaving them parked up, next thing coming out for them to be stolen. There's also a lot of bikers that buy these and are doing very, as I said, very dumb stuff. For instance, speeding off from the police, making off from the police, popping a lot of wheelies on roads you shouldn't be doing, like down a motorway, this, that, the other. And you know what? They're all doing that while flipped. Now, flipper plates. This is what this video is about, to never fit this. And the reason I said to never fit this is because you get some very dumb people. Now, in the US, it's very, very different. In the USA, you guys will actually use them. Some of you even ride without a plate, you don't care. But you got the people here that will ride without a plate or flip their plate and then stop for the police. I have no clue why people do that. They'll run a flipper plate, but they won't go from the police. They will stop and take the fine. So why are you running a flipper? Why would you even put that on your bike to make yourself look good and then you won't escape the police? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and scrutinize anybody because I'm not gonna sit here and lie as well. I have a flipper on every single bike. On both my Africa Twins, you can see there the plate's flipped. I've even got one on mine. You can go and see my videos. I've got one on the S1000. I've got one on my other S1000. I've got one on my Triumph. I'm an advocate for flipper plates, but when they're needed. For instance, speed cameras, basically all money toots. The police, you know, cameras everywhere. There's no need for all that. That is all a cash machine. You know, mobile speed cams on bridges, policemen sitting up there with speed guns. We all know what that's there for. But when you're using a flipper, for instance, to go out and do stupid stuff, riding on pavements, robbing people, when you're causing people alarm and distress, that's a big difference. But you do get a lot of people that will do that. Now, as I said, I'm a big advocate for flippers, providing they're used in the right scenarios and providing they're used to obviously protect yourself from, obviously, this government, this world who's all after money from people, because I get it. Bikers don't want to pay nothing, and you know what? Car drivers would be the same. If they could run a flipper, they would. Us bikers are quite lucky we're able to do that. And obviously we're quite lucky we're able to filter and get away from the police, because of course, our bike has full power acceleration. And when you're on one of these, you can go across the mud, you can go on the road, you can do whatever you want. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the people are nicking these right now. This is one of the reasons why a lot of the phone snatchers are using these in London, because they know the police can't get them, because they can escape pavement or grass area. Doesn't matter what you're on. Flip the plate, if that's even if they have the plate on, and away you go. That's why they're using these now over sport bikes and mopeds, because of the abilities of this bike. And it's a real shame, because what they're doing is bringing a lot of negativity onto owners with an Africa Twin. I was actually at a meet today, and this is why I'm doing this video. And what time is it now? It's nearly 9 o'clock here. I've only just got back from a meet at 8 o'clock. And there was a lot of owners there, a lot of grown men who are saying they're getting rid of their Africa Twin, because they're coming into the meet today. They got stopped by 2 police cars. 2, thinking they're running all their checks, running insurance, this, that, the other. But like I said, all the other bikes, the Triumphs, the Gixxers, even the S1000s were not getting stopped, but the Africa Twins were. It's ridiculous, and like the old guy said, they don't want no part in that. They bought that bike to try and ride. As a lot of them said, they're going to go back to their GS because they ain't going to tolerate that, purely because nobody wants to be associated with something like that. You know, at the end of the day, you've got people riding around with machetes on these, doing this, doing that, and it's not a good look. But as I said, there is a lot of idiots out there that will run a flipper plate and not use it. And you see that online where they're got their plate flipped, the next thing the police are behind them telling them, unflip your plate, or what have you done? And they got it flipped. That's not the way it's meant to be. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys what I do, but I think you guys can already know what I would do. But you get these idiots that seem to keep it flipped and then just paid a fine for it being flipped. Don't run a flipper if you're going to stop. It's quite stupid, really. All these people running on a 600, you're not going to go anywhere on a 600cc. It's pointless. The only reason people run them on this is purely because of the amount of torque these have. You will get away quickly. And secondly, these can go off-road. So even if the police are chasing you on road, just go off-road and they've lost you anyway. That's the reason people run them on these. But running it on a 600 sport bike when you're not going to get away is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand it. It's the same kind of people that will tuck their number plate right under their tail and have it stuck right under and then get stopped by the police when the police tell them it shouldn't be under there. Now, as many of you guys know, the fine for having a small plate, for having a plate flipped is about 100 quid. It doesn't come with no points. I know many people sit here and say it does. No, it does not. I've seen people getting fined when I've been at meets. Luckily, it wasn't me because I was smart enough to get my ass out of there, because everyone told me when I pulled in, oh, your plate's flipped. And I was like, so? Like, well, they're making a big deal out of it to bait me up. Like, don't do that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's flipped. And I think I've still got the video on my phone, actually, when I pulled up and these guys stopped me to try and tell me that my plate was flipped and to unflip it because there was police around the corner. And I said, so what, I'm parking up. I'm legally allowed to have your plate flipped if you're parked up. That is the law. If it's on show, you can have your plate flipped. And if you're filming, you're allowed to have your plate flipped, provided you're not on the road and you're not riding it, which I wasn't in both cases. I was riding it and parking it up. Once I parked it up, it's legally allowed to be flipped. See, if you go out onto the road with the bike, then your plate must be unflipped and it must have a locking shim. Again, a lot of people don't have the locking shim on these. People are buying these and not putting in the locking shim. Now, there is 2 screws you can adjust to make the tail tidy very tight so it can't close so easily, but a lot of people unloosen them and then all of a sudden it's just wobbling about. As I said, if you're going to be one of them idiots that ain't going to run or ain't going to use your flip and dip appropriately, do not run a flip and dip. That's all I ask, and that's asking you on any bike. That isn't just on the Africa Twins, that's on every bike, because like I said, it's them kind of people that bring a bad name onto us in the bike community who don't get caught for running these. It's like, for instance, my son. How many times I have to tell him, flip your plate? Because he always keeps open and he's like, he don't want to, and I get it. He's not as confident as me on bikes. He's nervous. He doesn't want to get into a chase with the police. Same with my wife. My wife is a nervous one as well because she's a nervous rider. She ain't confident. She won't keep her plate flipped. She'll keep it flipped as we're leaving around these areas, but as soon as we get on the main road, where me, I keep mine flipped as long as I even forget sometimes I even got it flipped. Just normal, you know, you forget. But at the end of the day, I'm not afraid of the consequences either. If police are gonna come after me, well, let them. I'm not sitting here saying, I'm gonna take chase, I'm not sitting here saying, I'm gonna stop either. But at the end of the day, I know what the consequences are. A lot of these people that buy these ain't aware of the consequences, or they think they haven't got the bottle to run. Well, don't. If you ain't got the bottle to run, you shouldn't have the bottle to run a flipper plate, because to look bad in front of people, you're gonna have to act bad when them blues and twos come on. And that's what a lot of people forget. A lot of people ain't got it in them. They ain't real about themselves. They think they've got it in them, but then when it comes all down to it, they really haven't got it in them to run from the police. And that's the God's honest truth. They are good though for, like I said, because in the UK, we are flooded with speed cameras, AI cameras, so it comes in handy for that kind of stuff, because that's just a cash cow. But when it comes to keeping it flipped, going into the middle of London, for instance, and how many people are getting caught there for stupidness, for having it flipped while going through London. Yes, I get it, avoiding the congestion charge zones, because a lot of them are on old bikes because they can't afford a newer one. But then keep it flipped and don't stop for the police when they come up to you. But a lot of people don't. So that's what I'm saying to you guys. Never fit one of these unless you've got the balls to be able to run. Because a lot of people fit these and they don't have the balls, or they don't have the confidence to know they're going to get away. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you don't have confidence in your riding ability, don't fit one of these. It's very, very simple. Run a big plate and avoid all the trouble that's going to come with it, because these do bring a lot of trouble. And if you stop, you're going to get a lot of fines. The only way you're not going to get in trouble is if basically you run. If you run, then the police ain't going to get your plate and they're not going to get you. No face, no case. And they've got no non-plate either. But if you're sitting there flipping a plate and then pulling over, they're probably going to give you a section 59, which is going to tell you to probably remove that, especially if you've got a loud exhaust as well. Not only will they do you for your flipper plate, if you've got a loud exhaust, they're going to do you for that on a section 59. They're going to do you for everything. Go around the whole bike while they're at it. So do not run one of them unless you're prepared to run. If you haven't got it in you, you haven't got the balls and you haven't got the confidence, do not put that on your bike. Because if you're one of them to stop for the police all the time and they find you got a flipper, they're going to do you for it anyway, flipped or not. The moment they push it and it flips, it's an instant fine. The moment you stop you, they'll get you for a small plate, a flipper, your loud exhaust. So the loud exhaust without the baffles, if it's too loud, it's a £100 fine. The number plate as well, having a small plate, is a £100 fine. The flipper bracket is another £100 fine. £300 just for pulling over. And then you get why people don't pull over. But you've got to have the confidence not to do that. If you're not confident, don't even bother running one of them. Just never fit it. Just leave it your bike the way it is. But a lot of these people like to act bad. They even put them on 125s. Where the hell are you going with a flipper plate on a 125? You ain't going nowhere. You ain't breaking those speed limits. You're not doing nothing. A lot of 125s read 10% over the speed limit. Therefore, you are not breaking any speed limits whatsoever. It's just like I said, you get a lot of idiots running these when they really, really shouldn't. They have not got the confidence to run one of them. And the same kind of people that haven't got the confidence running a number plate right under the tail either. That's why a lot of them do stick it under the tail and don't run a flipper, because one, they think they're smarter, and two, is because they know they ain't got the confidence. They see it flip, they haven't got the confidence to run from the police. It takes a lot of balls to do that, and I'm telling you that as someone with a lot of experience. It takes a lot of balls when them sirens go on to know to go. But a lot of people always question, will they make it? Will they die today? That if that always comes into your mind the moment a police car comes behind you, just pull over. Because if you're having to question your life and if you will get away or you won't, just give up immediately and give up running anything illegal on your bike. Run a normal exhaust, quiet exhaust, run a normal number plate. Do not run any of these kind of things. A loud exhaust, a flipper plate, because it's going to attract unwanted attention and you don't have the skill for unwanted attention. But there you have it, guys. I hope this is going to clear up a lot of crap regarding flipper plates. Listen, like I said, I know a lot of people don't agree with them. There is these old people that like to run the original tail and be all normal with the big plate. Unfortunately, that's just not me. Never has been, never will be. Bikes look better with a small number plate and they should always have that. Thank God we don't have a front number plate like some countries do, because that looks even uglier. But yeah, I'm a big advocate for it, and I know it's not going to, a lot of people ain't going to agree with me, but that's completely up to them. And many people are going to say this is just my opinion. This isn't just my opinion. In the biker scene, I've been in it for a very, very long time. So like I said to you, since I was 16 years old. I'm 38 years old. I've been riding for a very long time. And I have seen riders come off. I've seen riders misjudge a corner. I've seen riders target fixate, going around bends. I've seen riders killed. I have seen it all. It's not a joke. If you lack confidence, do not run anything illegal on your bike. Biking is cool, yes. People make it look cool, but please remember, those who are making it look cool have a lot of riding experience and are very confident when they're riding. If you are not confident, do not think you can get on a bike because all this looks cool and you are going to be able to do it, because when it all comes down to it, that's when you're going to be actually crapping your pants, because that's where it separates the boys from the men. So thank you very much for watching, guys. This is Bloodline Bikers here, and I hope this video is going to help you. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure to go and check out all our videos, and we've always got new videos coming out every day. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.